Do you have a process or like a way of either prioritizing these experiments? Because I'm sure at Lego and the other companies you've been involved with, it's like, our business is like that.
Yeah.
There are so many things you could do.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you even go about, okay, you have these ideas, but then how do you go about deciding which ones to action on first? And do you just action on one at a time, or do you action on like multiple? Like, how do you personally think about that?
There's definitely a risk of boiling the ocean, and especially with so many things happening, you feel like just pursuing it all. I think creating focus is a key factor of succeeding with innovation, or be effective at innovation. You know, many companies are innovating, very few are effective at it. I think there's a recent McKinsey study from 24 that shows that 84% says they are innovating and really wants to innovate, but 10% of them only say that they are effective at it. And that's one of the reasons is to, you know, how do you create the necessary focus for what it is you want to do? So at Lego, we identified what we call opportunity spaces. And that basically consists of two key analyses. One is you can say an internal context analysis that is all about who are we as a company? What is it that we want? What is our DNA and mission? Because that eliminates a lot of things that you then shouldn't do, right? If you're strong on who you are and where you want to go as a company, it helps. For Lego, it was about sticking to the brick and say we believe that the brick should still be a core anchor point for everything. Okay, that's a big sort of design decision you're making right there, right? The other is an external context analysis, obviously saying what is changing in the world, what are the new opportunities, what are all those things out there, and where these two intersect, meaning where they overlap, that is where you have a unique opportunity, where it fits exactly what you want as a company. And it has clear evidence from either customer insights or new technologies that are ripe for you to use. And that helps you sort of set directions. And then we became good at doing pattern recognition workshops, or sort of insight clustering, and saying, okay, so what if we take this new customer insight with this technology, with this business model, and do something about that? So that helped create sort of quite specific briefs on these are the things that we want to do. We could run multiple projects, but again, if you run too many, you deplete your resources. You're not thorough enough. So I would say fewer is usually better, both for small and for big companies, to not deplete your resources. But another aspect is thinking about how can we then become more resourceful with our limited team, limited size, limited budget. And a big part, which was also part of Lego's sort of evolution, was to think in terms of partnerships. Who can help us out there to sort of close some of these capability gaps we might have, or to just bring in more resource and power? And I'm not just talking about financial, but talents. Other companies you can collaborate with. We don't need to hire a full stack team that is able to do something, but you actually partner with someone. And so that opens up sort of what you could call the strategic venturing toolbox. You know, should you build this yourself? Should you partner with someone? Should you you can also spin out a new startup, or you can invest in a startup. This is if you're a bigger company, right? You have those options to do something where you borrow or buy your way into new resources.
I think this is really important, because I think too many people take the route of I'm going to try and build everything myself, and then it just drastically slows everything down. And then often it's like the thing that you've built yourself, it maybe functions and works, but if you just purchased the software or hired the team or worked with their partner, the outcome would be faster and probably significantly better as well.
But there's a mindset challenge, because as you are partnering, you are sort of handing over some of the control
and responsibility too, right?
And handing over maybe even some of the future revenue on it. So it can feel a little frightening, having to open up a machine room that maybe isn't perfect, and you want someone to collaborate with you on that. But I think it's a necessary mindset change for any company in the future to be better at operating more like an ecosystem orchestrator, where you have multiple different partners, also freelancers. You don't need them to be permanent hires, all of them, right? You can collaborate at all levels, also with other startups. to make things happen. And then of course you need to share. You need to share
because
the control,
I would
the
rather
revenues,
have a percentage of something big than 100% of nothing. Right.
Right. Right.
Great.
Yeah.
Like, this is interesting for me.
Hey, if you enjoy that clip, you're going to love the full episode of Winning Friends. Check it out in the link below.